This episode is brought to you by Communications Training for Coffee Teams, a new Map It Forward workshop tailored to get your team communicating more confidently to improve general mental health as well as business profitability. Click the link in the show notes for further details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and welcome to episode 4 of our 5-part series that's about preparing for change. The kind of change we're talking about is shifts in the global economy. Do we know if this is definitely a time when the economic tsunami is going to show up? We don't know. But what we do know is that there are some changes afoot and things have been heating up with regards to the global economy over the last few years. And I think it's time that we have this conversation that is in this series. So in the first part, we talked about what it looks like to prepare for change. In the second episode, we talked about knowing your financial position. In the last episode, we talked about securing your coffee revenue streams. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about reassessing your plan. So it's the early days, end of the first quarter of 2023. You may have had an idea of the plan for what was going to happen with 2023. With the recent situation that's happened with a number of bank runs, SVB and Sunrise, and the challenges that are happening with Credit Suisse, you may be getting a little bit nervous, and it may be time to reassess what that plan is. And so make sure that you join us for the next series, which is going to be with Carly Garner. Carly's going to break down a lot of what's happening with the economic situation. So it is important for you to understand how that could impact your business. Now, reassessing the plan is all about you saying, well, what are the possible scenarios that I think could eventuate if there was a global economic crisis? How would that impact my business? How would that impact my career if I'm an employee? How will that impact my customers? How will that impact my supply chain? And take an audit of all those different scenarios that you can imagine. And then have a think about how would you best prepare, or how could you best prepare for as many of those outcomes eventuating as possible. So, it is important for you to make sure that you have people in your circle, whether it's in person or online, that you're able to go to and have conversations with, that are able to challenge you in the right ways and ask you the right questions and afford you the ability to ask them the right questions so that you can make sure that your blind spots are uncovered. So in the next episode, we're going to talk about whether you need a consultant to help you with this or not, but that's what a consultant would do. My primary job as a consultant in the coffee industry is to make sure that my customers' blind spots are exposed and that they are anticipated as quickly as possible. Your job right now in reassessing your plan is to make sure that you are able to anticipate as many of the blind spots as possible by asking yourself these questions. Now, an important part of reassessing your plan, or the next step of reassessing your plan, is making sure that the variables in your business still stand true. And what I mean by that is the person in inverted commas, your customer personas, the people you believe are your customers, are they still the people who are frequenting your business? Consumer behavior has changed over the last couple of years. And with inflation and with interest rate hikes, we have seen that become even more so. People still drink coffee, but they shift their coffee consuming habits to make it more affordable for them. If you are not aware and have not continued to keep an awareness of who your customers are and who they're not, it's going to be really an important focus for you right now. So getting a greater understanding of who that customer is going to be pivotal to you. And the reason is because you need to know how to market to them. You need to know how to talk to them. You need to know what attracts them. So perhaps people have shifted from more exclusive kind of coffee that they would drink, a more premium specialty coffee brand, and they've started purchasing from your coffee brand now, and they have a different kind of language that they have. And I don't mean just one customer, I mean en masse. So has your customer base changed? Have there been things that happened over the past 12 months? Perhaps you had some marketing that went really well. You have new customers that have come in that have never frequented your business before, and you need to formulate new language around that. The next step of that is making sure that your products are still aligned with who your customers that are currently frequenting your business are. So you may have decided that from here to the end of 2023, you are going to sell a specific kind of product, and because that's the product that your specific kind of customer wants. But what you're noticing is as we get to the end of first quarter, that your products are not moving as well as you thought that they should be. Also, you've noticed that people are not buying as much as they were. So there may be still the same number of purchases, but the purchases are going down. If I was a consultant and I was looking at something like that, what I would be advising you is that your customer, you need to find out if your customer is becoming more price sensitive or whether they just don't like the products that you're selling anymore and they are a new customer and they've shifted. This is important information for you to understand. And it's a reason that I encourage business owners to work on the business more than in the business. And so let people take care of, as long as you can afford it, let people take care of doing the actual work so that you can work on improving the strength of the business so that people are spending more and that you are solving their problems so much so that they want to keep frequenting your business. And that brings me to the last thing that I want to talk about in this episode, and that is making sure that the plan that you have is focused on solving problems for your customers and for your employees and for your business and you. So as we start to traverse changing times, it's inevitable that new problems show up. New problems will show up for your customers. New problems will show up for your employees. New problems will show up for your business and your supply chain. And new problems will show up for you as a business owner. If you are not across all the different ways that you may be exposed, understanding how to have those solutions ready is going to be really difficult. The last thing that we want is for you to be reacting to changes that happen for your customers or employees or business or you in real time. The whole point of this series is to get you thinking about what are the most intelligent questions you can be asking yourself right now so that you can be as prepared as possible for whatever change is coming. And you taking the time to audit the different ways your business could change, asking what problems will show up, finding out how you'll be able to prepare solutions or at least have thought about different ways that you can adapt to meet those scenarios is going to be really, really valuable in your ability to actually thrive through this change that's coming rather than go under like I anticipate a lot of businesses may actually have to. So have a think about these things. Go ahead and write it all down. Go ahead and have conversations about it. Go ahead and reach out to people that you know can treat these conversations with respect and openness and meet you at the same place. It's a really wonderful time for you to connect with other people in the industry and just grab a coffee and say, hey, have you been thinking about these kinds of things? Do you understand what's going on with the global banking crisis right now? Are you worried how this might affect you? How are you changing your plans for 2023? Are you changing your plans for 2023? And I want to leave you with this one last pearl of wisdom. In all the coaching and mentoring work that I do, I focus it on one specific guiding factor. Your job is to learn to trust yourself. Go and collect data from other people. Go and ask opinions from other people. But your job every day is to learn how to be more trustworthy of yourself so that you build confidence in the decisions that you make. It is a really healthy thing to seek understanding and wisdom and advice and opinions from other people. At the end of the day, your decisions rest with you. And so your ability to hone your trustworthiness of and confidence of yourself is going to be your greatest asset in times of change. And so I would encourage you that even if you do meet with people who may be wiser than you and maybe more informed than you, at the end of the day, their advice is based on whatever information you have given them. They don't have access to the information you haven't given them. So you need to make the decisions for yourself. I hope this has been helpful, folks. The next episode, I'm going to be talking about whether it is time for you to bring on board a consultant to help you traverse these times, or if you can do it all on your own. Join me for the final episode of our 5-part series. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, friends. There are 2 ways you can support this podcast. Firstly, become a paid member of our YouTube channel. Secondly, you can join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you leave, and check the show notes for more information. Now, this is what you should check out next.